brother up from Jamaica, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, to give us the final piece to the puzzle so that we can put this African conjure down on their head. They can't escape it. See, what we did is a reversal conjure. A reversal conjure. That means that all of the dirt they playing for us go back to them. Right? All of the backbiting, all of the thievery go back to them. So, in this process, we put a dog in every fight. Noble Drew Ali was our first point man in the Moorish temple. Now, there's a difference between a Moor, there's a Moabite, and Almoravid. The defenders of the faith are not the same as Moors. Almoravid, as you can find them, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima will talk about them and how they came from the Holy City and helped to establish schools all the way over as far west as Morocco. But they wasn't Moroccan. They wasn't Moors. And then we looked at that. If Almoravids were the defenders of the faith, then they called the people from Morocco Moray. Those are two different groups of people. Because, as you know, Greek was written by Egyptian priests. And Latin was written by Carthaginian priests. Now watch the move. Hannibal, he was a Carthaginian, and he was on a march to crush the enemy, which was Rome. He was on a march to crush them. He had took a vow to his father, Hamilcar, that under no circumstances would he make allegiance with them imposters that was pretending to be righteous under the Roman emperors. But he was fighting them, and you watch what happened. One of the ones in Carthage that looked like him sold him out. He cut the money off. See, now we're dealing with economics again. We're dealing with this money situation. Everything on this planet, the Creator put it here for us to use for free. Only thing we're supposed to pay for it is labor and effort. Now, when you get to the point where we are now, the system and the structure of the system requires economics in order to survive, because of the way it's set up. I can survive off the fat of the land. I don't need money. I can live in the jungle. All right, so we're gonna go back and then we're gonna come back to this. Dane Calloway, historian. I gave you references about Moors. Yesterday I told you about my Angel Bay. Yep. I told you about Larry Hoover, but I didn't tell you about Tukey on the West Coast or none of the Bloods on the West Coast. I didn't tell y'all about that. Now, I touched on a little bit about the outlaws and Machiavelli and this motherfucker. Illuminati shit. But now I'm finna touch on the Empire State. The Empire State. They had a movie called King Kong. In the movie King Kong ends up taking this white lady to the top of the Empire State Building. What is the Empire, and why is New York the Empire State? Well, you will never know why New York is the Empire State unless you know where Old York is. Old York is called Yorkshire, England. Now, that's ran by a royal family. Look at the family crest, and for some strange reason, you got people that look like us on there. Think about that while I take this sip. On the crest for the European royal families, they look like us. But they ain't us. Because if they was us, we would have knew. You see? Because we would have had a historical record of it being us. That ain't us. That's some imposters. So what did they do? Now, I told y'all they used the European, the minority group, to attack the larger groups, to perpetuate the divide and conquer. So as soon as we figure it out, we can go haywire and start people. And the race war is the illusion. The race war that they want to start is the illusion. That's the way for them to get us fighting each other so they can get right back in power and sit behind the scenes. Now, you got to remember, we are in what they call the Kali Yuga state. We're coming out of that now. That's what you call the phase of the hidden gods. These watered down fake gods went to South Africa so that they could try to make it look like a slave trade. There was never a slave trade. It's what you're not understanding. We invited those pale-skinned Europeans over here to get a drop of blood so that they can earn the right to ascend through the great melting pot process, the same as we did for China, Japan, and various other parts of the world when they did it to them. So now here we go again. They want to try to pit us against the European under the false pretenses of police shooting us in the back, killing these kids. And they actually killing people that's unawares of who and what they are. Only certain people are allowed to kill certain people. Because y'all don't understand that, because that's a higher law. In the lower realms, when your vibration is low and you are in a slumber state, you can't quite see everything clearly. And so you start to become confused, and then they have turn you on your own because they can't just kill us like that. If we stop killing each other, they in trouble. If we stop killing each other in the streets, they in trouble. So what do? A dog in every fight, right? They tried to make us turn on each other by promoting gang life. When did they do it? And how did they get the message to us? Well, it started with with entertainment. If you go back, you have always had people that click together for survival purposes in small groups. And the small groups normally didn't prey on each other and they didn't conflict. They normally, when they encountered each other, it was a mutual respect between these groups that they end up calling them gangs. When you do your research on the history of the gang, they end up taking you back to the Empire State and starving children in the boroughs. These starving children in the boroughs was joining together to go and steal food from merchants that was on the in the Manhattan area, where all of the money was being coagulated. They was condensing the money to build what they call Manhattan, which is the Diamond Coast and all that in New York, where all of the money is concentrated at to this day. Wall Street, all that. As they were doing this, they think that we wasn't going to figure it out. You got to be out your mind. And so in the Empire State, King Kong climbs the Empire State Building and they shoots him down and kills him. Okay. I understand your point that you're trying to make. And we ain't falling for it. King Kong ain't gonna fall. Y'all got down when he was asleep. You see. Y'all got down when the king of the Congo was asleep. Now he beating on his chest, swinging from these lampposts, pounding this concrete, and all of these motherfucking baby gorillas is around this motherfucker lining up. This 100 monkey effect taking full flight. You can't stop it. It's an unstoppable move. We know who you are. We know what you did. You can put your motherfucking shit down, pack your bags, and get ready to go, because you're not staying here. I don't know where you're going, but you will not stay here. If you stay here, we will send you somewhere else. Now, dog in every fight. Our Black Peace Stone Rangers, or our Black Power Stones. Yeah, look at your Power Rangers. We got signals in all forms of entertainment where we alert each other. Every form of mysticism, good and bad, we got somebody there. I'm going to give you an example, because I'm a bad boy with this shit. You dig? I'm a bad boy. And I ride rough on these motherfuckers. They don't see it coming. So, everybody think that I don't see what I see, just because I don't speak on it. Big G dropped some jewels, and I picked every one of them up. Because you can't know what's going on unless you know what's going on. Understand me? Understand? You can't know what's going on unless you know what's going on. So, before I rain this purple shit on their ass, before I give them a thriller, I'm going to continue dropping little pieces in here for the brethren so that they'll know I'm ready for the move. I'm about to journey home. I think I hear somebody calling me in the distance. I'm just east to where she at, and she in the west, or just west of where I'm at. I'm sitting here in the right hand of Mother Earth. The right hand, only one place on earth where you're going to find a right hand glove, a mitten, the motherfucking murder mitten. Now, if the Jewish symbol is a black fist and they don't like black people, why we ain't paying that attention? Let's look at something else. La Cosa Nostra, also known as the Black Hen, was set in Sicily. But the La Cosa Nostra was a different hen. Actually, it was a foot. They was under the heel. They were Sicilians. Well, how did they get to Sicily? When Hannibal made his conquest, they rounded up all of his offspring because he was trying to spread that drop of blood in the process of making his overthrow of Rome. And they took all of the children to try to stop the drop of blood because they didn't want them to ever have a right to ascend and to come back and aid in the struggle for the liberation of planet Earth. So they rounded them all up and they put them on the island of Sicily to sequester them. Ain't that right, Uncle Dago? Ain't that how it go? And so when they put them all on the island of Sicily, they figured they had them quarantined sufficiently enough that we wouldn't never be able to communicate. They got to be crazy. So we set something up over there. You call it today El Mafioso. We call it La Cosa Nostra, like them blackface Sicilians. I see that leader over there, but that leader ain't a real one. So I was going to do some poetry, and I was listening to this beautiful poem about how these women be abused by these wicked motherfuckers going upside their head and shit. And it gave me a flashback of a time, in another lifetime, when they wanted to remove a woman from her rightful position. They want to remove her from her rightful position so they can undermine her. Yakub, supplanters, underminers. We know y'all are. All of the imposters has been revealed. The signs of righteousness ain't for no games. You know? So, Crowley had to tell you, do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. But he ain't telling it all to you. I ain't going to get into that. I'm just using that for my brothers to know what moves to make next. Because they already know. But for those watching, y'all might be confused and think I'm babbling. I'm not babbling. Everything I'm dropping is for a purpose. We are past that now. Their reign is up. The contract expired. See, they had to contract us as servitude in a certain way. It's your 14th Amendment. Involuntary servitude is your 14th. Voluntary servitude, or what they call meritorious manumission, meaning of your own accord. You can roam about this land of your own accord, but you have to pay what they call taxes. And as long as you are in your 3/5 state, they can tax you up to 3/5 of your of who you are. Because and under the ancient code of kings, you can't tax a god. They think we forgot. And you ain't forget. And then look at it and say, in all natives, non-taxed. Got to pay that attention. All natives, non-taxed. But they're going to make it in a way where they can tax them later. See, that's where they messed up. They're breaking the contract by deception and think we're not going to figure it out. And the laws say adhesion contracts are non-enforceable. Contracts by using duress is non-enforceable. Contracts by using deception is non-enforceable. So you got these people who are following the contract because they believe that the contract is an enforceable contract. The whole judicial system is predicated upon a false contract. That contract can't be enforced beyond this point. For one, the court contract expired. Look at your seals on your dollar, and you'll know who is behind it. And Enlil is the eagle. And the sons of righteousness is the pyramid. The contract is between the two. Right? Pay attention. I'm not going to go too deep into it right now. I'm going to come back to it later. I'm not going to leave y'all hanging, though, because I got to give y'all other people to give y'all information to clarify what I'm saying. And then now in this one, it should sound like I'm slightly cutting short on information. That's because I'm activating each one of the ones who hold a piece to the puzzle to do their part. Because we all got to do our part, and we all got to work together. Don't send your kids out there to fight for these animals. Don't let them deceive you. I'm going to post a Dane Calloway video on my page. I want y'all to check it out. And a couple more videos I'm going to post. I want y'all to check them out. I ain't going to hold this one real long because we got brothers waiting on me to shut up so they can do their part. And now that I done did this, and the Prime has spoke, and they all know what moves to make next, All those, surf YouTube, see what you can find. Yeah, Juanita, he the truth. He the truth. I like to call him the Great Dane Calloway, because I like dogs. You know, one of these days I'm gonna roll up with about 60 dogs. Motherfucker gonna be fucked up. I like dogs. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Pyramid is what they always be running into the field when they disappear in the Bermuda Triangle.
So you said the glass pyramid. What's that now? Say it again. What you gotta explain that. What's that?
It's a giant pyramid that look like it's made out of glass.
And where's this?
In the Bermuda Triangle.
What, in the water?
It's pictures of it online.
Oh yeah. Okay, I gotta check that out.
Go pull it up.
Let me see.
Pull up glass pyramid, Bermuda Triangle. It's an energy vortex because that's not glass. It's made out of some type of plasma, but it looked like glass to the human eye. As soon as you see it, it's going to be unmistakable. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think
it damn near looked like a clear iceberg coming out the water.
There's a site that's saying that it's satire. Let me put it on so you can see. Hold up. We could do this while in front of y'all. Okay, so the first website I clicked on says story about the discovery of underwater pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle originates from satirical publication.
Right. So satire is what you call dry wit comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you can tell somebody the truth, but you can veil it with a joke.
Right. Okay.
That's satire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So just because they telling it to you in a joke, don't mean they ain't telling you the truth.
Uh-huh. So you saying, damn, this look wow. So you saying this thing right here is real?
Yeah, it's video from pilots video in it too. It's not just still photographs.
Wow. Now let me ask you, what do you think about the possibility of the giants?
There were giants. There were giants at different stages of growth. You got to remember, we wasn't always 3-dimensional beings. We was like 12-dimensional beings, right? We smaller now because we more energy, more compact for the purposes of the same reason they downsize cars. But when we used to incarnate on Earth, we'd be fucking, our head be in the clouds.
That big?
Yeah. But then over time, when we start incarnating on a smaller size scale, depending on the age we was in, because we evolving the organism that would become the manifest 3D form of expression, where you can live a lifetime in 120 Earth years, but it's just a blink of an eye to a god.
Right.
Because they eternal beings.
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff is a bunch of eternal beings converging their mental ability to create using the principles that you find in the what's that triangle called? The star life.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you pull up the cover for the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you'll see he's holding the star life in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody had to create the construct in order for this 3D reality to manifest in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The science is Metatron's cube. Metatron's cube is your proverbial shield of Solomon and seal of David. The seal of Solomon is the 5-point star, but the shield of Solomon is the 6. The shield of David is the 5 point, but the seal of David is the 6. Right? So they using both of the symbols. The one represents man, one represents woman. Right? So you have to find the balance between the two. Unless you turn out to be a sissy. Not meaning homosexual, a sissy as in you can't control your emotions, you can't control your fiery masculine energy. You collapse. It doesn't work for you. Right? You feel more comfortable being told what to do than to tell somebody what to do. Right? You undervalue yourself, but you don't know you undervalue yourself because you believe your confidence is high. That's what you call self-delusion. That's what we call shadow